Audacity or recording?
Now I'm recording on Streamlabs.
On Streamlabs.
Right? So that should be our YouTube feed going up right there.
Right.
I'm going to start recording on Audacity. And now we're talking to our folks on the other interwebs.
On both interwebs.
Both interwebs are a go, Rob.
All right. Well, on that note, let's rewind that first.
McClunky.
McClunky. Take 2. Intro music.
Wait, that's not it.
What? He's no good to me, Dad.
Intro music. Intro music.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
It sure is,
yes,
man.
it is.
And of course, we are back once again at a slightly different time, right? So if you are one of the diehards waiting for us on Wednesday evenings, we apologize. But we are here once again for an episode of Bantha Milk Podcast. How are you, Rob?
I am great.
Fresh off a trip to Technology Exposition.
Technology Expo in
Yeah.
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yes, indeed.
Very
sunny
exciting
Atlantic
news.
City.
Sunny Atlantic City. It wasn't snowing when we left. Today,
No.
we're going to get a big snowstorm here in New Jersey.
As we call them, a nor'easter.
A nor'easter.
Yeah, a winter nor'easter. So,
Yes,
batten down the hatches, New Jersey. But we are here slightly later because, people have lives sometimes, guys, and we have to do stuff.
Yeah,
but it's
unfortunately
Friday,
we
not
missed
Wednesday.
out. But
Yeah.
so look for us, hopefully, 99% sure next Wednesday at 8 o'clock again. Back at
our
our
normal bat time.
Yeah, normal
bat
schedule.
schedule.
Boba time.
Yes.
Boba schedule.
Well, we'll see. Because as we know, today we're here to talk about the beginning of Season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yes, this is Season 3, Episode 17.
Yes.
Chapter 17 of The Mandalorian, otherwise known as Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 5.
5, that's right.
Titled The Mandalorian.
Returns.
The Mandalorian Returns,
Right?
yes.
Yeah. So this is that warning, right? We're going to be getting pretty straight on to our episode review here. So if you have not seen
Yes.
the newest episode of the Book of Boba Fett,
Go watch it.
yeah, I mean, you need to.
It's
because
awesome.
It was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
I've got some things to say about that. I'm a little annoyed about how great it was actually, but
I
that's
know.
a whole nother thing. But yeah, we're entering our spoiler zone. So again, you need to do some real hard thinking right now.
Yes, so please do that. But before we do that, Nick, tell us all those social medias and how to find us everywhere on the dark web.
Hey, if you're interested in more Star Wars info, want to chat, or even want to send us some Star Wars drink recipes, please be sure to check us out on all of our social medias platforms. You can catch us on Instagram and Facebook at Bantha Milk Podcast, Twitter at Bantha Milk. You can email us at banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com, or even check out our website, banthamilkpodcast.com.
And don't forget to check out our sister podcast over at the Earz-up Network. Our friends over at Earz-up help us a whole lot, so give them and their many shows a listen. Their shows include Earz-up, Earz-up in Depth, The Supreme Resort, and Scraping the Vault. Also be sure to check out their Patreon at patreon.com/ears with a Z up. For as little as $2 a month, you can help support our show. Any donations sent their way directly help us here at Bantha Milk Podcast and comes with great perks. So please check them out today.
Rob, I must say you look smashing today. Your
Yes.
hair is straight up. You must have gelled it up.
I
fluffed
gelled it up. Yeah, I got a little poof going on there.
You brushed your ear hair
My
even
ear
for the
hair
occasion?
is, yes. I
Yeah.
have some nice orange ear hair going there.
Man, these folks, if they're catching us on a podcast, which you should on your way into work and stuff, but
Yes.
you're really missing some of the finer details that our YouTube watchers get to see, right?
Yes.
So make sure you check us out on YouTube because you get a whole different experience here.
What is this thing called? A Kirishaki? Spider monkey?
Yeah, Kawikian, I think. Spider monkey.
Spider monkey.
I'm
yeah.
sure someone out there will tell us that we pronounced it wrong.
pronounced it wrong.
But anyway, yes, we have Rob's buddy here.
Yep.
And
Hello.
He decided to say hello.
He's saying hi.
We also have this sign behind me here.
Yes.
Behind me here, right?
Yeah.
We're swagging up Bantha
Yeah.
Milk Studios here. We're getting real official.
We got real official. We got a free giant poster printed out.
Oh, it
while
was
I
even
at
free?
Texas. Yeah, it was free.
Wow, good for us.
Yeah. So the
So
printer.
that's called a donation.
Yes.
We
yes.
love it. To our cause.
To our cause. They didn't know that you just send them an email or text message with a picture and they print it out for you. So
Wow.
as long as it's not inappropriate, I guess they'll print out anything during the Texpo. So
All right.
I sent them that and they printed out my our logo there. So it was very exciting. So yes, the monkey's got to go. The spider monkey's got to go.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro.
So yeah, let's dive in.
Okay.
Because this episode was great.
Was best episode of the season.
It was the best. It might have been the best episode of The Mandalorian. Like it was one of my favorite. Oh man. So and again, it makes me wonder what happened in episode 3. You know what I mean? It makes me wonder why are we getting CGI that looks movie quality.
That looks in this episode,
and quality plot lines and things that make sense and like vehicles that go faster than 16 miles per hour in episode 5, but in episode 3 we're not.
Right.
So the question I had yesterday was, do you think that maybe the episode of The Mandalorian or the episode that we saw today or yesterday, whatever it was that maybe filmed in the volume? And maybe the rest of them were not.
I think they all had to have been filmed in the volume.
You think so?
Yeah, because...
Even the Book of Boba episodes?
Even the Book of Boba episodes. Because they're not recording them at the same time.
Right.
So they got to be using this volume for everything at this point. And I'm trying to find the writers of the episode. And Jon Favreau is listed as the writer.
For which episode?
For all the episodes. Yeah. So it's like...
But I don't know that it was necessarily the writing that failed episode 3. You know, it was direction. And in this most recent episode, we had Bryce Dallas Howard, who like kills it every time she directs an episode of Star Wars. So
she did a really good job directing.
I'm hoping they get her like a movie franchise at some point because like I think
she would crush it if she had her own
like a trilogy.
Her own trilogy, yeah, it would be. I mean, they're giving Taika Waititi an unnamed trilogy.
That's right.
So why not give Bryce Dallas Howard one? Because she's killing it. So
for real.
Yeah. So I'm looking. Jon Favreau has been the writer on 3, 4, and 5. Jon Favreau, written by, created by. Then it just says George Lucas, based on Star Wars by. So I don't even know if he gave any input, but they're giving George Lucas writing credits because he wrote the original Star Wars.
I know he like showed up on set for Mando. Like there are like shots of him showing up, and I know him and Dave Filoni are like, I know Dave Filoni sees him as like one of his mentors and stuff. Yeah. So maybe he does have some sort of influence in it.
And then they have one other person listed, Noah Clore, staff writer, but he's listed in all of them as staff writer for all these episodes. So I don't know, who knows what he actually did. But so if Jon Favreau has written all of the Book of Boba Fett stories and he's written all of Mandalorian, why is Boba Fett so much different than the Mandalorian? Do you think I wonder if he's like so afraid of what to do with Boba Fett that it turns out not as good as
maybe. One of the things that I've seen people saying and that I kind of agree with is that Din Djarin is like what everyone was hoping, like when we grew up, Boba would be. So we got this guy, and we're like, okay, cool, that's that guy. And now they're trying to show us who Boba is, and we're like, but we already have this guy. We like this guy. Do more of this guy.
But I mean, like even just like the fighting sequences, the training sequences in this one, I felt were written better than the training sequences of Book of Boba training with the Sand People. Like,
yeah. How much of that do you think is, again, we've talked about Tamir Morrison not being the greatest actor, whereas you've got, Din Djarin. Who's the guy who plays Din Djarin? God, that's going to annoy me. He was... Man, so just in case it's 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. That's why we're doing this later than usual and early in the day. So we don't have any Bantha Milk on us.
Pedro
right now. Pedro Pascal, thank you. And so I'm a little slow-witted today. It's been a long work week. But yeah, so Pedro Pascal he's a heavy hitter when it comes to acting chops, when it comes to just his presence as an actor. Tamir Morrison is an actor.
Yeah.
But he's only, if he wasn't, I can't imagine they would have picked him as Boba Fett if he wasn't already Jango Fett. There's a reason he is everything is because for continuity. Yeah. And it's great that he's embraced that.
For Easter eggs.
For all the Easter eggs. Now, this episode totally had Easter eggs.
This had Easter eggs.
But no. Yeah. Not everything's an Easter egg, folks. But anyway, so I think there's a lot of factors maybe that make it happen, but we're not supposed to, I guess, be talking about that. We're supposed to be talking about this episode, which was excellent. Right? So, again, the weird thing about this episode, there's not a single sighting of Boba Fett. Some people are upset about that. Not in it at all.
Which it was
weird.
It was
strange.
It was a 40-minute trailer for
Mando season
3. Yeah, it was a preview.
And it worked.
And it worked.
I'm
it was
hyped.
Great. Oh my god. It was so good. Like,
Yep.
and even how it ends. Like, I feel like there's only 2 episodes left of Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
Boba Fett needs his help to beat the Pikes.
Right. So Din's going back to Tatooine next episode, right?
Right. He's already on Tatooine at
Oh,
this
that's
point.
right. That's
because
right. He's with
He's
Fennec.
hanging out with
Yeah.
Amy Sedaris again.
And
Which she was awesome
Yes.
dealing with all the droids and
Oh,
just
and
her
her-
personality and
her
everything.
crazy, like, the kids won't notice that this girl just told us she has sex with Jawa. So
Yeah.
like, okay.
Okay. And the fact that she can speak Jawa-ese
Yeah, that was the first maybe
fun.
human we've seen.
Yeah, we've never
speaking
seen
that.
anybody else speaking Jawa except for the Jawas.
Which was interesting because, like, she would speak Jawaese and then, like, he'd say something to her and then she'd, like, say something to him in basic.
in basic, yeah.
And then, like, so she at different times went back and forth because
Yes.
clearly they can speak basic.
Yeah, they can
So,
understand basic and they can
Maybe
speak
she
basic.
just feels more comfortable
When she's
conversing with them in their mother tongue.
Right, when she's trying to, because she dated one of them. When
She's
she's trying to
romancing
get
the Jawa.
trying to get something out of them, then
that
she
could be
speaks
like
in their language. Romancing the
a
Jawa.
paperback novel on Tatooine,
Yes.
romancing of the Jawas.
Yeah, it would just be a Jawa with their
chest
out,
sticking
out.
long flowing hair
Yep.
like Fabio.
Yep,
I'm
Fabio,
there for
long
that.
flowing. Yeah, so it
I would love to
wonderful.
see some of the adult fiction in a
In
galaxy
Star Wars.
far, far away.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
I'd
really
imagine
funny?
it's weird.
It would be weird, but
sorts
it
of
would be
stuff.
it would be really funny. To, like, I would totally go for that. I know
this conversation really got off the
it
rails.
really got.
Rob.
Yeah, we went way off.
This is what happens when we don't have a live chat to like direct us.
to
Sorry,
keep us
y'all.
to keep us in track here. Yeah,
Either way, we
Either
start
way.
off this episode, and it's our boy Mando.
it's Mando. So he's in the meatpacking district.
That's right, with all the puppies.
All the puppies.
I don't know what. Have you been able to find out what species this is? Because I didn't even think to
might
look
be
at
able
this.
to,
I didn't take
yes.
any notes this time, folks. I know I take minimal notes, but
Clantumians,
It's not the Clatunian, right? No, because that was from season 1. The puppy dog.
Yeah, Din Djarin's using a twin prong. They're saying Clantuines in this.
Clantuines. Okay, well, Doug, let us know what's going on there, man.
Yeah, let us know if that is correct.
Anyway,
or not.
you're right. They're in the meatpacking district.
They're in the meatpacking district, and it was a great. Even the whole interaction between him and the boss, Caba Baez, was great because he walks in and Easter egg.
Yes.
The curtain opens the same way we see him in episode 1 of The Mandalorian way back in 2 years ago. But yeah, it's just like as soon as he steps through the curtain and you see that it's him and not Boba Fett, immediately everybody's heart was like, oh,
Yep.
yes.
And then, of course,
Wee, wee. Yeah, and it wasn't a surprise. I mean,
no, we all knew it was coming.
we all knew it was coming. At the end of the last episode, she goes, I know where to get us muscle. And then you hear the Mandalorian music as opposed to the Boba Fett music. And you're like, okay, there we go. So he comes through the curtains, and then he goes up to the boss, and he was like, I need to speak to Caba Baez. And the guy's like, oh, he's not here. And then he throws down the puck, which has his face, and I was
right.
like, that looks like Caba Baez to me. And he was like, that's not me. He's like, yes, it is. Nope, not me. Sorry. Somebody else looks just like me. There's another dog person
They
around
are
here.
Clatunians.
Clatunians. There we go.
All right, see, because we saw Clatunians in episode 1 of Mando. They were the ones that were, I believe they were guarding.
Were they at the bar in the beginning when he first? Yeah, they were guarding the
I thought they were
little
guarding
fish
Grogu.
guy. Were Clatunians guarding Grogu also?
Man, I need to do a rewatch of Mando now.
I know.
Anyway, we've definitely seen Clatunians many times, I feel like, in Mando
Yeah.
so far. So anyway, Clatunians, because I looked up Caba Baez.
Yep.
Right, so there you are right there. You're
So
right.
yeah. So then he uses his iconic line.
That's right. Oh, that was another one of those moments. And I saw a article about this episode, and they were basically saying this is how you do fan service right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And this is just one of the many times it happens where it's like, that's Din's thing.
Yeah.
You done did it, and
Yeah.
we're all of course expecting him to whip out a blaster,
Right.
as he's like but then we go, oh, that's right, there it is.
There it is.
And he breaks out the darksaber.
And he pulls out the dark saber,
And he
which
goes
go ahead.
to town.
Uh-huh.
Like, I didn't expect Disney to do some of that stuff.
No,
They were deliberately, I feel like, avoiding some shots at the beginning. I'm like, oh, is this going to Disney? Oh, he's cut in half. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, but once again, there was like no blood.
Right.
Like
but,
people.
you can excuse that with a lightsaber because of the cauterization.
Right, because they can cauterize it. Yeah, exactly. So I'll give it for that.
They cut him in half. I'm happy.
Yes, I'm happy he got cut in half. But then I didn't realize it until after watching it or watching the whole episode when he pulls the sword out of him and accidentally stabs himself.
Yeah.
It's not because he was clumsy with this weapon. It's because the weapon is fighting him still.
Or he's fighting the weapon.
Or he's fighting the weapon, yes.
Right. Yeah, there is some really awesome like lore like that we don't like, why don't we see more people wielding lightsabers,
Yeah.
if you can find a lightsaber, make maybe someone. But now we know, like, lightsabers aren't just a pick up and use sort of thing, maybe, or else maybe just the dark sabers like this. But I get the feeling we're going to be seeing Grogu, and when we do, he might be getting some lightsaber training from someone.
And, I mean, this is my speculation, jumping far ahead. The dark saber was created by
Paz Vizsla.
Was it? Well, Paz Vizsla is the guy in the show. Pre-Vizsla or Tar Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla. That's right. Pre-Vizsla was the bad guy in Clone Wars, right?
Yes, which was also Tar Vizsla's son and Paz Vizsla's dad, because Paz Vizsla talks about how my ancestors forged that. Forged is the word.
And it is cool that they mentioned that the hilt is made out of
Beskar.
Beskar.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of interesting because like they melt down the spear because
it's a weapon.
It's a weapon,
and it's only supposed to be armor. Yeah,
right.
But
so
yet
interesting little.
but there's an powerful weapon.
There's an awful lot of that happening with it. They've got a little cognitive dissonance. This little band of three.
Yeah, and so
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. This part that I'm jumping ahead to first. Then we'll get back to the other part that we're jumping ahead to.
We've really embraced the jumping at this point.
We're good.
We're gonna stop talking about jumping around from now on, and we're just gonna do it.
If you don't like it, you can listen to us all out of order.
That's right.
Then you can download it and cut it all up and put it in the correct order, and then listen to it a second time.
I love it.
Yeah, works for me.
Anyway, go on.
So. Not Paz Vizsla, the dad, the grandfather.
Tar Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla was both a Jedi and a Mandalorian.
Right.
Then we're talking about Jedi lore. That Jedis they're like more of a solitary. But then Mando says, but that's the opposite of the Mandalorian lore.
Right.
So this is in my head. I'm sure it's not going to be the case, but I'm like, is Grogu going to be the new leader of Mandalorian because he's a Jedi and also now a Mandalorian?
See, my brain automatically went to, is someone going to train Din to be a Jedi?
Okay.
And he would be a Jedi Mandalorian. Maybe he's Force sensitive. I mean, he is amazing.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think, because like, how much time do you think has gone since the end of this? Like, how long has it been since we've seen Grogu? How much conceivably could he have aged?
Right, not
matured?
much,
because we don't know.
And that's the only thing that I was thinking. Like, he's still a toddler. So, like we saw Timo Morrison finding Fennec,
right,
and that was 5 years
after
the
Return of the Jedi,
yes,
and all that. Yes.
So this is all taking place all in that same time frame that he just got rid of Grogu.
Well, but we gotta. I mean, imagine that he did all the thing with Boba, and since then, Boba has established himself at Jabba's palace. He's gained some muscle. He is the Hutts have done their whole thing. Din has, is looking for something, right? Because what was it he was looking for? Because he was looking for the access ports to the heating vents or something. That's why he. Anyway, there was so much stuff going on this episode.
Yeah.
So like, conceivably, it hasn't been like a week or two, months, if not a year or so, may have gone by.
I would say maybe 2 years tops time.
I'm sure that'll be clarified at some point, but it's not as though, a 50-year-old toddler is all of a sudden going to be like
right. Yeah, he's not
a Jedi.
He's not going to be a Jedi at this, and he's not going to be he's not going to come back as teenage Grogu. Right. He's still going to be 51 or 52.
It's like a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 thing where we've got the adolescent Groot.
Yeah, Groot just playing PlayStation or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, a little bit of time, but not much time has passed. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I was just thinking, because that's the way the Darksaber was originally formed. So he would be the most logical person that would be both Jedi and Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be pretty rad.
Yeah.
I would dig that a lot.
So
our boy Norman. Little Normie.
up there on the shelf.
For you diehards back there. If you remember way back when.
Norman and Kyle.
That's right.
Yep.
Can we also call him Udall?
Udall. Well, Udall, because it was
Yoda
Yaddle,
and Yaddle.
Because
we were convinced we were going to get some Yaddle lore.
Yes.
And we're like, we're going to learn that Yoda had a baby with Yaddle, and we're going to get some cool Jedi. Nope,
nothing.
But
there's
there's still time. Maybe they're going to put that in like one of the young adult novels or something.
Yeah.
and we'll all have to read about it somewhere.
One of the little picture books.
Yes. And all of a sudden,
and then they had
lore.
a baby. Yeah, and then it's lore. So then Mando's on. So that spaceship /
the Halo ring.
It was
pretty rad.
That wasn't what was the dark planet that you kept saying you wish that they would go to? That was
Nar Shaddaa. Yeah, see that it did kind of remind me of Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, but you talking about Nar Shaddaa all the time, I was like, I wonder if this is their interpretation
of it. I mean, did we ever get
as far as I know, we didn't get a name of what it was.
All right, that would be interesting. But I mean, it does seem like that would have been a very good time for them to introduce it. Like, I don't know what they're waiting for on a place like that. That was just again. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky.
Yeah.
But we've seen they're making new places. They're reusing Tatooine a trillion times.
They love Tatooine. Yeah.
Like show us Nar Shaddaa.
And then I'm like looking at that Halo ship planet thing, whatever it is, and I'm like, it's big. Don't get me wrong. It uses a lot of metal to make that thing.
Yes.
But like, the Earth is round and we don't feel it because the Earth is so big.
Right.
Like, they're showing it spinning.
And you're like...
I'm like, what about the people on the sides? Like, at what point do you go, whoa?
I was literally like, because like you're seeing him walk straight and like you got to figure I'm walking straight as like you're walking on a giant gerbil wheel.
Yeah, a giant gerbil wheel, yeah.
So they've got to have some sort of gravitational control wherein every spot pulls directly
down so that, And if they were walking, wouldn't all the floors be rounded? Because
ever so slightly, I guess.
Ever so slightly, yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine Imperial / Republic engineers know what they're doing.
Yeah, you would think so. So I don't know. So
it's
it was pretty
cool.
funny. It was
pretty cool. But yeah, my mind definitely went to some of those same. Well, how would this work logically?
Yeah, because
I'm going to dissect this giant world. This wouldn't exactly fit in this world that has space wizards and stuff like that. No,
I gotta figure out how this this disc of a satellite can actually work.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I was like, okay, well, if like they just went up the sides, so it was like a giant square, but it didn't spin. But since it's spinning, everything has to have the floor on the outside. So I was way overthinking that. It was ridiculous. That's my life.
Yep.
This is what I was doing as I'm watching it, going, "Whoa, that's really cool." But how does it work? Tell me how it works. So yeah. So then
you gotta get one of those. Remember those slice books? You slice the thing in half, and you get the cross sections of it, like the ships and stuff.
Yeah, where you can
see. I want one like that.
I want that for that thing.
I think they have those for Star Wars ships.
They do. When you get the Star Wars ship books, you can see like all the floors and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we need that for that space station. Somebody needs to design that for that space station.
I'm sure Lucasfilm is already working on that book.
I'm sure they
are. Through Hasbro and everyone else.
Oh, 100% they are. So then he goes back onto that interesting planet, and he's just carrying a severed head.
Yeah.
He's carrying the guy's severed head in a bag.
And he's limping.
And he's limping.
Because he cut himself. Kyle the bounty hunter, who is, has taken people in, who has done crazy stuff and not had that bad of an injury, but he hurt his leg.
He hurt his leg. He got
it's a lightsaber wound, man. It is what it is.
So he's the elevator scene where he was with. It was a Cascadag, KSC.
Oh, the one that farted.
Yeah, well, Because he looked down and that severed head's got to start smelling at some point.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What is that smell?" So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then he goes in and he meets whoever the person is that hired him, to a mystery client, and then she wants to get him to do other things, and he's like, "Nah, I don't have time for you." And then he was like, "I like when she was like, well, I'm not going to give you the information unless you give me the head." And he was like, he's got a bounty out on him.
I'll go get that.
Somebody else will pay me. If you don't want to, somebody else will. She's like, "Fine, I'll pay you."
Yep.
So so that was fun. And then he gets on this spaceship.
That's right.
He gets
has
on the
to
giant
board
shuttle.
the spaceship, and I don't 100% understand why they showed us like every single weapon. I get they were.
That was really funny.
It was a joke. He's got a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
But you just expect that they're setting up that one of those is going to get stolen.
Exactly.
Like, and they give you a big long shot of it when they open it again, and I'm like, all right, what's missing? What's
I'm
missing?
looking for the
Nothing.
Darksaber right away. I'm looking for
Yep.
the Darksaber. I'm like, somebody stole the Darksaber.
It's right there. So
It's
I'm
right
like,
there. They're all
okay.
right there.
So it was just a weird kind of.
Yeah.
I guess it was fun and silly, but it didn't have a whole lot of plot.
No,
Too, but I guess
it
it didn't
didn't
have to.
advance the plot at all.
I guess it didn't have to.
It was kind of like
If it was a crappy episode, maybe it would have been lame. But it was a
right.
good episode.
It was a great
so
episode.
That's fine.
There was an episode of The Simpsons when Homer's starting the fire pit out back.
Okay.
Or it was, I think they did it in not King of the Hill. Family Guy might have done it as well, but he's like squeezing like all this lighter fluid, like 5 or 6 times, where
Yeah.
you're just like, oh my gosh, like you're gonna blow up the whole neighborhood, and then he lights a match and it just goes, and that's it. It's just a little flame starts.
Yeah.
That's all. That was kind of like that scene, like you're waiting for the big reveal, something missing. He goes nuts on the droid there or whatever. No, it's all there. He just starts putting it all back on.
I wonder if he flew coach.
He did fly coach because he was sitting next to that kid.
Oh, that's right.
That little.
That's right. The Rodian.
The Rodian turns around and is like looking at him. The mom's like, "Sit down," and he's just like.
Yep.
But it was almost like that father moment. I miss my baby Grogu.
Right. Yep.
Here's a little kid.
He's
also
green.
green. He's an alien, whatever. Then he goes and he gets on. He walks down the steps very gingerly because he's got a boo-boo.
Right.
And then he runs into the armorer.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
we
that
see
was a
her
shot.
again.
Again, every time I see another one, I'm like, wow, they're really So Chris, my buddy Chris, who's been on the show, he was talking to me about it, and he said like, oh, because I didn't get to see it, he's like, it's just the craziest thing. We don't ever see. It's like it's Mandalorian season 3. I'm like, okay, I believe you, but like for real. Like,
Yeah.
It was like, this person. Oh, because so we're just leaning full into Mandalorian. Works for me.
Works for me, yeah.
And the armorer was awesome, just like she always is.
Uh-huh.
And I really dug her. And again, she knows an awful lot about lightsabers, right?
She does,
And
for someone
and how
who,
to use them.
Yes. And the fact that, you're fighting against it and do this and
especially considering from the beginning, I've been saying, I think she might have some force.
yeah, you were
usage.
saying from the beginning, because even when him and his best friend Paz were
Right.
fighting each other in season 1,
Episode like 2 or 3.
episode
yeah.
2 or 3, they both stopped
Exactly at like a point where they were going to, like, they were
just
at each other's
at
throats.
each other's throats.
And it wasn't like oh, I'll stop. But like they were just like, and it was
Yeah.
like immediate.
And they were both frozen. And you said then that you thought that she stopped them.
Yeah. But
So who knows? I mean, it will be a good twist for her to have some kind of force powers as well.
yeah, and there was that whole thing with the have you taken your mask off thing, right? And that's their whole religion and their whole kind of cult thing.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a reason she specifically won't take her mask off, or her helmet off. I mean, maybe she survived the Purge, and ever since then, she has been in hiding, you know? And even after the Empire fell, she just stuck with that creed. I mean, it would be awesome, I think, to find out that this is like a Jedi that we had heard of, or who just became a Mandalorian.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
It is interesting. We have now gone full circle, and I'm sure Din Djarin's head is spinning.
Sure.
He was with her first. Can't take your helmet off. Mandalorians don't take your helmet off.
Sure.
Then he goes and he sees Cobb Vanth, and he's not a real Mandalorian. He takes his
Right.
helmet off right away, and he's freaked out. Then he goes and sees
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. She takes her helmet off, and she says, "No, they're an extremist group.
Right.
she has gone crazy.
Off the deep
She's
end.
gone off the deep end. She's overdoing it.
Right.
And now he's back to her again, and she's saying
Bro.
Bo-Katan is wrong.
No.
This is the way.
Right.
They're wrong. So now he's like, well, what is right? And I think he's still brainwashed by her. So it'll be
for
interesting
sure.
to see which is the right way.
And I was bummed for his character, like when she said that, and he begged,
yeah.
like, don't do. I'm like, dude, come on, you're past this.
You're past this. Like you've learned that their small-minded way is not the actual way.
or not the only way.
Or not the
anyway.
only way. Yeah, but she fed him more Mandalorian lore about how, because Bo-Katan didn't earn the Darksaber.
And that led to the curse.
That
right?
led to the curse, and that led to Mandalore falling apart, and
Right.
all this other stuff. So there was a lot of Mandalorian lore in that conversation, which was great.
Yep.
I enjoyed all of it, whether it was from a one-sided point of view. So it would be interesting. Can we get her and Bo-Katan in a room together and just
Right.
have them fight it out and tell us which way's the right way?
Yeah, like a debate. I
A debate. I want a
like,
debate.
One
Yeah.
on one side, one on the other. We'll be the moderators.
We'll be the moderators, yeah.
And we'll just be like, all right, you have 2 minutes. Go. Excuse
Yep.
me, your time is up. Your
Yep.
time is
Your
up.
time
I'm
is up.
sorry.
Yes.
Madam Senator, please. Anyway.
Armor, do not interrupt. Let her. She has her time.
Excuse me, if we could please in the audience just not applaud. Thank you.
Not applaud. Do not applaud. Let them use all of their time. When their time is up, then you may applaud. But then we see Jon Favreau.
Oh yeah, Paz
Paz.
walks on up.
I loved his
all
mask.
big,
His
beefy.
helmet.
Yeah,
was,
he's a beefy boy.
Yes.
He's a big ol', and he's got like that really interesting, like kind of almost angular shape to the helmet.
And it's like extra bulky.
Yeah.
Like he's almost like the heavy machine gunner guy. In every video game ever,
Right.
they're always the
big,
bigger,
bulky guys,
because
yeah.
they're holding the bigger stuff, and he's just like but it's just because he doesn't want to go on a diet, so he makes himself look that way,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah, you
I
do
give
you,
him
man.
credit. I don't want to go on a diet either.
We're not body shaming
We're
you.
not body shaming you. I'm just jealous that you're Jon Favreau and I'm not.
Yeah, and he's got a sweet set of Beskar armor.
He sure does.
Beskar armor.
Best armor.
So they exchange some chattingness, and he like heals Din, and they like he like thanks him for saving him and stuff, and we think, oh, that's nice. They're becoming friends.
Yeah.
He's joined their covert. There's only 3 left. They got to support each other,
And they're gonna build it up together.
yeah, and apparently they just want to kill each other.
Yeah,
That's all they wanna do.
he wants his Darksaber back because it was his.
That was my
ancestors.
dad's.
That's
My dad can beat
dad's.
your dad up.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I get his point of view also. Like, his grandfather created it, or great grandfather created it. It belongs in his lore and his history and all that stuff. But at this point in time, Din Djarin won it in battle.
Yeah.
So it now, by the way it's written, it's his.
It's like the Elder Wand.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So,
So yeah, that causes
and-
some conflict.
and conflict, and some great what do you call it? Not script. When he gets saved by the props by. So okay, I'll go back to the whole scene. So when he's training and fighting, he falls off the edge,
And his
and then he jetpacks back up again.
Right.
But then when Pazvusa challenges him,
they take him off.
there's a big thing about them taking off the jetpacks.
All right, the Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, the
thing.
Chekhov gun.
They took off the jetpacks. One of these guys have to fall off, right?
They have to fall off, and then where does he fall? He falls onto the lower platform.
Yep.
So
Just like the train last
the train,
time.
yeah.
Yep.
I forget what
Plot
you call
armor.
it. Plot armor. Yeah,
That's
it says
right.
plot armor. As he falls,
The only thing stronger than Beskar is
it's
plot armor.
plot armor. That should be our new tagline. The only thing stronger
That's
than
it.
Beskar is plot armor.
That's 100% the fact. And
But
we'll
yeah.
find that moment in every single
single
You
episode.
can find a plot armor a moment in every episode, in every Star Wars ever, because
Yeah.
otherwise there would be no Star Wars.
Exactly. So that was great to me. I was like, oh, as soon as they take off their jetpacks, I'm going, somebody's falling on that lower ledge down there, because neither of them are going to plummet to their death because they're on the outside of the ring of the city ring, whatever. So it was really funny.
Yep.
So yeah, so then, you're fighting the blade, and stop fighting the blade and all. So I can't wait to find out when he finally discovers that he it'll probably be Grogu teaching him how to not fight the blade.
Right. And it'll be interesting because, again, he's such a, like, agile guy. Like, when we compare his fighting to Boba,
right?
Like, he's always been so graceful and quick and agile. And with this sword, he's, like, hacking away. You know what I mean?
Away, yeah.
So I think they're doing that on purpose. I mean, I know they're doing some of the heaviness on purpose, but, like, the way he has fought with it, I think we're going to see soon he's going to get a little more agile and Jedi-like with it, and it's going to be pretty rad.
And it's going to be pretty rad, yeah, 100% so.
Yeah.
And
I just do love the way they animate the Darksaber. It just looks so cool because, like, most lightsabers are like a beam of light, and it's like some kind of vibrations, and it kind of moves, but there's something so still about the Darksaber because, like, it doesn't move, the like energy in it doesn't move in the same way as the background.
And even like the black part of the blade, you can see like little holes in it, as well as like the glowing around it.
Yeah, they did an awesome job bringing that to real life.
Yeah, and like a regular lightsaber is just a pole with a rounded edge, but this even has like a taper tip on it and stuff, an edge, and it's so cool. It's so cool looking.
Yep.
So then this is when he gets to the part where he's like begging for forgiveness.
Yep.
That you were talking about earlier.
He says, she does her little thing where it's like, hey, you stopped. Hey, we're all one person, right? Because we're all one creed. Because this is the way, right, Paz? This is the way. Yeah, totally. This is the way, right, Din? Right, Din?
What, can't you ask Paz again? Just ask Paz. You don't need to come to me.
You're out of the club.
You're out.
Fired.
You took your helmet off. Now, the only person that he took, I mean, unless he took his helmet off in front of the girlfriend in...
well, no, remember he had to take his helmet off when he became a stormtrooper. Remember when he was with Bill Burr?
So Bill Burr saw his face?
And so did all of those stormtroopers that he killed.
Yes. Okay. Because I'm thinking like, okay, he took his helmet off in front of Grogu. Yeah. But yes.
And there was also the droid.
The droid, yeah.
What was that IG unit? Not IG-88, IG-11?
IG-11, yeah.
I missed that guy. They need to bring him back.
He blew
up.
They'll bring him back when they bring back Darth Maul.
Yeah. All right.
The two of them can come back together.
That works for me.
It'll be IG-11's legs.
That's exactly what it is.
Darth Maul.
Oh, boy. This isn't even my final form. Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I forgot all about the storm. Oh, that was a great scene, the Stormtrooper scene. Man,
we gotta
that
do a
Mandalorian show is a good show.
It's a good show,
It's a really good show.
We should just do like you know what we can do? Is we'll start from episode 1, and then we can do an episode of the podcast for every episode, and we can break it down and discuss all the Easter eggs and all.
That's a good idea, and all the plots where it ties back into other Star Wars shows and stuff.
Sounds perfect.
Sounds like a great idea. We should come up with that.
Let's
do it. Yeah, we'll figure out how to do that somehow.
If you are someone who recently started watching us, the facetiousness behind our sentences are, you can go back and do that to all the episodes
all
of
the
The
episodes
Mandalorian.
are
right?
there.
So go check it out if you're getting into this now, or if you haven't checked this out, or if you want to do a re-listen or a re-watch of The Mandalorian, you can watch episode 1, then the next day take a listen to our episode about it, right? You can go way back. I think it's like episode 5 or so where we actually start
getting into it, yeah.
Right? What are we on now? Episode like 55?
Yeah. 54, 55,
wow.
Yeah. Look at us go.
Longevity.
Maybe even 56. No, because doing these every week, boom,
yeah,
boom,
we've been
boom.
Really
we've been running through a lot of them, yeah.
Yep.
So there's just a whole bunch of name dropping in this scene from Ahsoka Tano. He didn't talk about Luke Skywalker at all, but he did talk about Ahsoka. Oh, they talked about the staff, and we briefly touched on it about how the staff is a weapon, a threat
to the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can pierce Beskar and stuff. So,
and then we do see a cool scene of the Great Purge.
Right. Yeah, we get some of those K2 droids that we see in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Doing their business, which is interesting because I don't see any victims. I just see them randomly shooting.
Just shooting into the ground.
Which is a cool shot, but maybe put some legs on the ground.
Put somebody there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And we're just going to shoot. I mean, hey, look, they shoot
It was great
the ground.
cinematography.
Yeah. They shoot the ground. Stormtroopers don't hit anybody. It's just the way Star Wars is.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get the Purge scene, and we're told all about how Mandalore has to be this, that, blah blah blah. You suck. You need to go cleanse yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
he says the Lake Minnetonka's gone, and she's
too bad.
Too bad.
Find Minnesota. It's in a galaxy far, far away.
So go get some gallon jugs of water and
Ask
start
Prince.
filling it up. Ask Prince. Go find Prince's house. I'm sure he's got some water laying around. He can dump it in there. Yeah, so then she melts down
the spear.
Just the head of the spear.
Yeah. I mean, I know we saw them just melt down the head of the spear.
Right.
Are they going to melt down the rest, or are we to assume that we just saw them melt down the tip and then they also melted down the rest?
Right, because all we saw was the tip being melted.
We know that just that little brick can make a whole pauldron.
Whole pauldron, yeah.
So that whole sword should be able to make an entire Grogu-sized Mandalorian armor.
And
right?
then you see the little like chain circles. So
Yes.
it's almost like Grogu's going to be dressed in like chainmail.
Right, and that's what everyone's
Beskar
kind of
chainmail.
assuming is just it's like in The Hobbit, the mithril shirt that Bilbo has from what's the other one? Frodo. Bilbo has it. He gives it to Frodo.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I mean that would make sense, right? Just a little chainmail shirt.
Because
What else would
he's
fit
in a
that
bag.
little pouch?
Yeah, he's in a burlap bag now. So just turn that burlap. Just throw some chainmail over top of it.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really hoping it was gonna be like a silly ass little.
Oh, I
helmet.
wanted it to be a helmet with,
Yep.
with giant holes in the side for his ears to fit out. I was like, oh.
No, I didn't want holes. I wanted straight up.
You wanted metal all the way out
Beskar
the ears?
to
Oh
protect
my
him.
gosh.
You gotta protect his
You got to
ears.
protect his ears.
Because
That would be
they're
really
adorable.
funny. And then, of course, when they tie the bag,
It kind of looks like him.
a little
Yeah,
Grogu
that's
with the big
adorable.
ears. How adorable! Yes, that's Bryce Dallas Howard
yeah.
right there.
Pagan is hoping that it's not a chainmail. She's hoping that it's a Beskar ball.
That
Just
would
a
be really
ball
funny.
for
I
him
was
to
thinking,
have
I
it.
was like, that would have been funny if it was. If he's like, here, now you have your own. Now stop taking mine. So yeah. So then they show when we already saw that. So then it was fun when he flies out. Flies off the planet, hanging out with the little kid, and then he goes and we meet Amy Sedaris. And she is so funny. And you're
Yes.
a droid from Fallen Order.
B2 or BD8.
BD,
right?
just BD.
Well, it's a BD droid.
Okay.
Yeah, so BD8 was the droid in Jedi Fallen Order, so I guess
Okay.
this is like BD something. So yeah, and not only was it awesome to see this BD unit like actually in the show, but it did all those cute little mannerisms that like it did in the video game where like it was happy and it like clicked its feet and stuff. Yeah, BD, that was awesome. Amy Sedaris was. What were they doing when they got there? Like when he walked on in.
Oh, the whatever the Womp Rat of some. It was a Womp Rat. It was like a vicious.
They were
Womp
chasing
Rat.
it, right?
Yeah, the Womp Rat grabbed the droid for some reason. I don't know why he would grab a droid.
Yeah.
But he grabbed the droid, and she was like, "No, BD, get back here!" and started to chew it. So then she tells the other droids, "Go get him," and they're like, I'm not going after." So then she's like, "Fine, I'll go get it." And then the Womp Rat starts to attack her.
Yep.
And that's when Mando comes
saves
in
the day.
in true Mandalorian fashion.
Oh yeah. Wow, wow, wow.
And she's like, "Oh, good, you're back. Thank you."
Yeah, and again, this was another Looney Tunes type scene for Star Wars that I didn't mind.
No, this I didn't mind.
Like the other one was like, okay, this is Looney Tunes, but this episode also kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
or what was? No, that was in the episode after, right?
Right.
Which was better,
It was better, but it was still like
a little out of place. It was the bunny droid.
Yeah.
But no, this one, I mean, it's because we had so much good content. Star Wars has always had some of that silly stuff in it.
Yeah.
But if it's all silly, slapstick, dumb,
Then
and especially, I mean, if you're going to make it geared towards adults, which this is, I mean, there are going to be kids who like
TV
it.
show, yeah.
But it's for the older Star Wars crowd. It's not for the young kids. So
Yeah.
you have to make it a little less silly. But no, this fit perfectly well, and it fit with her character too.
Yes. Yes.
So we get to meet her, and he's like, "Yo, I need a new ship."
Yeah, he's like, "So you told me you got a Razor Crest for me." She was like, "Well,
I told you I had a ship.
I have a ship
Not a
for you,
Razor
not a
Crest."
Razor Crest."
And I was pretty jazzed. First of all, I thought it was a pod racer. Like when they
Okay.
first brought you over, and it was like
Yeah,
under a tarp.
yeah,
and
because
I
you see
just saw
the engine,
turbine.
the turbine on the right.
I thought it was a pod racer. I'm like, oh my god, is this like Annie's pod racer they found?
Yeah.
And why would he need it?
Why would he need a pod racer, and how's he going to get off the planet on a pod racer?
Yeah, it is interesting to see why they. I'm excited about it. I wonder why they chose that specific Star Cruiser. Like, why a Naboo Star Cruiser? Why wasn't it like a Jedi Star Cruiser or
Right.
like they had a lot to choose from? Why did they specifically pick the Naboo
that one.
Starfighter? Was it just? A lot of people say that this episode was like a love letter to the Phantom Menace because there were
Okay.
so many references and stuff like that to that time in that movie. So maybe maybe that's what it was meant to be.
Okay.
Like, we
Like
were on
this-
Tatooine.
yeah.
We saw the racetrack for the Boonta Eve Classic.
Yeah,
We went in
exactly.
we went in Beggar's Canyon.
Yep.
So like, maybe it is just like they're referencing this first episode.
Yeah, I was like, so I was watching it with Tom, and as he's test flying it around, I was like, I wonder if they used the same exact footage from Phantom Menace.
They might
or
have.
not. Yeah,
honestly, it looked a lot like it.
It looked a lot like it. It was really good. But yeah, so it was a great. He and her interaction together are great. They have great chemistry together, and I just love. She was like, "Look, you take the money back. I don't care. I'll sell it to somebody else." It's kind of like with the bounty. Like I'll sell it whether it's to you or to anybody.
Because she knew what he knew, and that he needs this more than I do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He needs a ship.
You came here for a ship.
I got a ship.
This is going to be a ship.
And it would also, FYI, go a lot faster if you'd help.
If you'd help.
Just saying.
Well, we could get this done faster if you helped.
Which is, I think, exactly how it's gone every time with him.
Every time?
He was dealing with, what's the guy, Nick Nolte's character?
Nick Nolte's character.
Gosh, it's been a long time.
I know, it's such a
And we say his quote at the end of every one of our episodes.
I have spoken. We have spoken.
Man, what a bummer that he's gone.
I know. He was a great character as well.
Either way.
I will look it up while you keep talking about it.
Sure. What were we talking about?
Talking about him building the ship.
Yes.
So
so
they're now building the ship.
When they had to put his Razor Crest back together, it was essentially he had to help, and the dude was like, well, you got to help me, and it'll go quicker. And what was it the repairs that they needed on the Razor Crest, and that's why they met Amy Sedaris' character in season 2?
Yeah, it crashed. He got its Queel. Yes, Queel. Yeah, he I don't remember what got beat up on it. It wasn't after this spider attacked him, but it was at some point in time. But yeah. So he flew in because he needed repairs and whatever. So that's how he became friends with her in the first place.
Right.
But I just liked, she was like, yeah, no, you came a little earlier than I was expecting. And so this piece still needs to go on and this piece still needs to go on.
And then so do all those other pieces.
All those other pieces over there. He like reaches in and he pulls out like a radiator hose from a car. And he was like, ugh.
Yep.
And then, so then their pieces are falling off of it. You know, like
it's on cinder blocks.
It's on cinder blocks, yeah.
It still has the hydraulic system in it, so it's bouncing.
So, three of them. One of the hydraulics was broken, so it wasn't bouncing very well. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So then I like how they keep referencing that it's pre-Empire.
Right.
You know, the Razor Crest was pre-Empire. Right. It's off the grid. It's pre-Empire. So. You know, this ship is exactly what you need, albeit a little smaller than what you want, but you can get around without having any problems and all that good stuff. So,
and it even has it has a hyperdrive without a docking ring.
Without a docking ring, which was a cool thing from back in the day when they flew into the docking ring and then took off.
Episode 2 was when we were really kind of introduced to that, where Obi-Wan was going to Kamino and he had the Jedi Starfighter that docked in, and when he was kind of chasing Jango Fett, right?
Yeah,
so it is interesting that they tie that in specifically. Then we get into our Jawa sequence, right? We learn about her illicit relations with the Jawa.
Relations with Jawas.
They're furry, very furry,
very furry.
And she starts like toying with her teeth as though it's just really graphic for a Disney show.
It's very, you know, there's some cross species that you can be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, they're both humanoid looking. You know, they can, but like.
But Jawas.
But to be fair, we don't know what it looks like.
We have no idea what a Jawa looks like. All we know is they have yellow light eyes, and we never see their faces.
And from what we are told, they are very.
Now we know that they're furry. So yeah, so they're very furry. And that whole sequence was fun to me and then when he's like, wait, you can get anything? They're like, you know, to a point.
Yep.
So then he gives them a tip, and she was like, oh, don't spoil them. Now they're gonna expect this and stuff. Yep. So it was a lot of fun, and I love how the Jawas are the late at night crime
vandals. They're the vandals.
They're the vandals of the night. Where
they are the ones leaving the cars on cinder blocks and stuff like that.
There was a movie with Kenny Rogers, probably before you were born, when I was a kid, called The Six Pack. And
is it in black and white?
It was not in black and white, but it wasn't in 16:9.
Sure,
it was in 4:3.
Right.
So you don't. I mean, you've seen maybe one thing that way.
That's it. Only one.
Only one. But it was this family of these 6 orphan kids, and they grew up around like racing and stuff. And Kenny Rogers meets them because they steal all the parts off of his race car. He's a dirt race car driver. And then he, yells at them, whatever, and he's like, "Give me all my parts back." And they're like, "We can't. We already sold it all." So then now he's suddenly somehow attached to these 6 kids. So then the next day they're like, "Hey, we hooked you up," and he goes into his trailer, and all these other parts are in there.
And they went and stole all
They
his
went
other
and stole
parts.
them from all the other race car drivers. So now all the other race car drivers are like, "Somebody stole my tires and somebody stole my engine." And they go, "And man, they really did a number on your car." But in the meantime, all their parts are in his truck. He's
Right.
like, He's like, "What do you?" So yeah, so the Jawas are the kids from Six Pack from
All
way
right,
long
Six
ago.
Pack.
Six Pack, yes. I bet you
right.
Jon Favreau watched it.
I bet he did.
I bet
wonder
he
what
did.
year- I mean, I wouldn't put it past him if that was like literally a callback to something like that.
To something like that, yeah.
1982. Yeah, I was not yet born.
Yeah, see? So, so then the Jawas are stealing everything. And then, that pole that they get, well, you saw that at one point in time in the trash compactor.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That was the same pole that we used.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. And he
That-
goes, "What is this?"
What is this? Yeah, and so that's what it was. It was a cryogenic density combustion booster. I loved all the big words and funny words that they were using for engine parts.
Yep.
Like, I
Sometimes-
love to be in the writing room where
Yeah,
you're just like,
honestly, sometimes I think about that because I overthink things like you say, and you do as well. And I go, is this just complete random BS? Are the writers just throwing out ridiculous, or are they like literally going into a dictionary and going, "Well, this word would fit with this word, and this could conceivably like"? Are these things making any sense, or is this just like like in Seinfeld? You need a new Johnson rod. You can't go without a Johnson.
can't
rod.
go without a Johnson rod. Yeah. So they're just making crap up. Yeah. So I mean, when we have John on the show, we can ask him these things.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah. So that was fun. And then we see him now. The ship's finally all put back together.
Yep, and Doug, our resident fact checker, he called it. What did he say it was? He said Mando has a redneck truck because he had the motor rising out of the hood of the truck, the front.
Yeah, with the giant air filter sitting
Yep,
on top
it was
there.
kitted out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I like how one of the things that he was doing to put the ship back together was sanding the yellow paint off of the side of the truck. Like that's like of all the things that you have to do, getting rid of the paint is one of them.
For sure. Absolutely.
That's the most important thing that you have to do.
So he the other great thing about this scene, first of all, it goes past 12 miles. Like this is what annoys me so much too, is when they start doing the thing. It's like, oh, so you can animate scenes of great speed.
Yes, on a television budget.
Yes. Interesting. But so they introduce us to the ship, and as we get like a nice little, he's like running his hand along it and like doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I can't help but like, this is not as utilitarian of a ship. And I was talking to Chris the other day about it, and I'm thinking, it's possible that this is a ship that leads to another ship. Like maybe this is his personal craft, and then we see, because like, a lot of ships can hold ships. Like we see that Han Solo in the new thing has this big giant station that he finds and docks with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and the Millennium Falcon docks inside of this giant ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like or else he'll have a ship that this can like kind of dock onto, like the Ghost.
Right.
From Rebels.
Yeah, they have the little shuttle that docks onto the back of it. So maybe when he finds his new Razor Crest, Amy Sedaris makes a hitch for it.
All right.
And he tows it behind like a trailer.
Right.
There
That's
we go.
Right. I like that.
There you go.
And now we're really getting really space redneck.
We are getting.
He's taking the jet skis out to the lake for the weekend.
Sure is. He sure is. He's going to dock the Winnebago and then take the jet skis out and drive.
That's right.
There you go. Boom. I don't say.
That's it.
Seems exactly.
And he's
how
even
it's
got
gonna
a little thing in the back for the kid. Right.
Yep.
They
So-
can pop in.
So that was funny because. Like they're totally setting it up that
Grogu's going to be hanging out.
Grogu's going to be hanging out in there. Because I'm like, okay, well, like we're watching it, and Tom goes, oh, it'd be cool if he gets like a droid also. Right. And I was like, well, where's he going to put his bounties when he catches a bounty?
And that's another thing too. Is like, what do you think he's going to get a bounty and be like, all right, you sit here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be in in hyperspace for the next 6 hours. You just hang tight.
You stand in this compartment that was originally designed for a droid. Yeah.
It's just weird because I don't know. The Razor Crest, it's not as fast as this, sure. But like he could go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like this
He had a back
Chris told me
tube.
he had a back tube.
Yeah.
He could get into hyperspace, and then when he's in and has all his coordinates in, he could go take a nap or
Yeah.
like play some solitaire or like watch some
Sabacc.
Netflix, play some sabacc.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like, all right, I'm in, and now hyperspace isn't just like I'm there, right? You got a hyperspace
it's
route.
still going. Yeah.
So he's just sets it in the wood. Now you got to like bring a book
And
and just
he
sit there and
can't-
read a book.
He can't take his helmet off
Right.
or his armor off, so
Exactly.
he can't get comfortable. And
And,
you're sitting in that cockpit, so
Which brought up the other thought that me and Chris were having a conversation about the other day, which is if he can't go to the back tube and he's going to have like an 8-hour hyperspace route, are there hyperspace rest stops?
right.
And I would like there has to be,
Would-
right?
would-
Hyperspace routes are routes.
Yes.
So you got to figure you got to be able to pull off somewhere where there's a space station.
Yeah,
you can
you're
dock at.
flying past a planet of some sort that you can stop at, or a space station that you can stop at.
I think if it's going
like
to be a
Deep
rest
Space
stop,
Nine.
right? Exactly. But if it's going to be a rest stop, it can't be a planet, right? Because there's
Right.
got to be a whole customs thing when you get onto a new planet.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it takes a while to get through atmospheres and stuff. But if you're talking pull off the hyperspace route, we know at exit
At
16.
the Frank S. Farley.
That's right.
Rest stop.
At Cheese
yeah.
Quick, right? We're going to pull
Yeah.
off at Cheese Quick. I think there's got to be. I think there's got to be, like in Spaceballs when they're at the diner.
Yes.
At the end.
Yep,
I think
uh-huh.
that's exactly what they
It's
have.
exactly, yeah. So, by the way, we threw out an Easter egg there to New Jersey with the Frank S. Farley
That's
Service
right.
Plaza.
All our Jersey folk out there
Yeah.
are going, Cheese Quick, Frank Farley. I know those
I
names.
know those places. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Our people outside the state are like,
they're like, what?
John?
John.
What does John
What is
mean? I
John?
don't understand that.
What is John?
What is Scrapple?
What is
I don't
Scrapple? I,
understand.
like my cheesesteaks with sauce on them.
With-
No,
no.
with, no, that's not what with is. No,
No,
oh,
not with.
Gosh, no.
No.
So anywho, but yeah, so that's interesting. I never thought of a rest stop, a hyperspace rest stop. Yeah,
I didn't either until I thought about the fact that this poor dude, unless
Yeah.
he's got like a colostomy set up somewhere for his long
maybe.
flights, which
yeah,
sounds
which
miserable.
sounds so much not fun either. Yeah,
So anyway, we got our test flight, right? He
Yeah.
hops in, and he's like, "Here we go," and he like kind of like jankily starts going up, and he goes, and he's like, "This is bumpy." And she's like, well, open up the throttle, you sissy.
you sissy,
And he's like,
go
all right.
faster.
Boom.
And then he takes off,
And
and I
it's-
love the scene over the town where everybody's watching. It's like zoom.
Yep. And they really make it like they're making a point about this thing. It's souped out. Like they don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a TIE fighter fly this fast
No.
in Star
no,
Wars.
not at
so-
all. Yeah.
And it's almost like passive aggressive. Like, hey,
Uh-huh.
we heard you guys complaining 2 episodes ago about the
It
speed.
was too
Take
slow.
this.
Watch this. We'll show you the
And I
opposite
would-
of slow.
I would believe that if it weren't for the fact that all of this was filmed a year and a half ago. But
Exactly.
like, it just does almost seem a little passive aggressive.
Yes. What was the bumper sticker on the back of the Winnebago?
Oh, I brake for supernovas.
Yes. That's the only
Yep.
time that thing will stop. Will be in
Yep, I
super.
brake for supernovas.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. So this was the exact opposite of slow. This was super fast,
And
super
he's-
fast, super fun.
He's zooming. He goes through Beggar's Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Then they even say like, set your operational navigational computers between the two suns. It'll put you in Beggar's Canyon. And we see Womp Rats in Beggar's Canyon,
Yep.
which is again another callback to Luke targeting Womp Rats in his T-16.
In his T-16.
Um,
He's flying through the same thing that looked like the
Boonta Eve Classic.
the
right?
Boonta Eve
pod ra-
Classic. Yeah, the
it
pod
was-
racer race. He's flying through there, and it looks
Yep.
like he's destroying every pod racer in the way because
Yep.
this thing was super fast.
Yeah, and then he decides let's bring her up.
Let's take her up. Let's see how fast she can really go.
And what are the odds that he would happen upon the one flight that same little green kid was on?
Yeah.
Like, hey man,
So the amount of time that they were working on the ship was the same amount of time
exactly the same
that
amount of time.
his family
traveled
stayed on Tatooine, or maybe it was the other way around. Who knows? But was on Tatooine for the same amount of time as it took for him to build the ship, and then he's flying away. And of course, he flies right next to it because you have infinite space.
So why not go right next?
So
to
why
this
not go
spacecraft?
fly right around the spacecraft? Yeah. So he's permission to what does he say in Top Gun? Permission to
Oh, look, I got you, fam.
something the tower. Permission to buzz the tower. Permission.
Yep.
Permission to buzz the tower. Permission denied. Am I missing something here? And then both him and all we needed was Iceman right behind
Yep.
him doing the same thing, buzzing the tower, with the same captain He's now on a ship. Before he was in California. Now he's on the same ship, spilling the same coffee on him again. But that was my Top Gun tirade there. Sorry
That's
about
okay.
that.
I understand. Every now and then you gotta let it out.
You gotta let it out. One of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm disappointed in myself that I couldn't remember it right away, but I'm happy that I got it at the end there. Yes.
Now,
so
but this leads into another, again, overthinking. He buzzes past this thing at breakneck speeds.
Right.
And then the cops just catch right up to him.
Right up to him.
They're right next to him.
Yeah.
No problem. What do they got on there? Anyway,
so they're like,
we see our very good friend. I love this, and Doug called it Space Cops, and that's exactly what it is. This is just this little interaction. Every interaction we've had with the actual, government has been hysterical.
Yes.
Like the bureaucracy, when we were talking to the mayor's assistant and stuff, and then when it comes to, every time we've had a run-in with the cops, you really want to head back to file this report?
Yeah. Do you want to spend the rest of the day filing reports? It's typical, boot cop or street cop, shows.
Yeah.
I'm not saying real cops do this,
right?
But in TV shows, the way they're all depicted, we could bring this guy in for jaywalking, but then we got to fill out all this paperwork.
And I think it makes it more real.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sort of stuff. This is what happens in real life. All these movies and all these stuff. All we're doing is trying to show a different story, but it's still like real life.
It's
right?
still so they have the same problems that we have.
They have back tubes. They must have space rest stops, right?
Yeah,
Their cops might not want to do the paperwork for a simple speeding ticket if it's this dude just
avoidable.
uses sublight thrusters. We're not going to catch the guy. Just let him go.
Just let him go. Nobody's catching him. Now, did you also notice? I don't know if Cop 1 was. I don't think he was Dave Filoni.
No, they mentioned that the one cop was the body stand-in for Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay. So that's
they
who he
CGI'd
was.
his face to be Luke, but that young cop was the same actor who played Luke Skywalker before CGI changed his face.
And then the other one was the same guy we saw before, Paul Sung-Hoon Lee.
He was supposed to be in Rangers of the New Republic, right?
Yes.
And that's no longer happening. So it is cool that they're gonna maybe hopefully include him in more stuff because he's been pretty great in everything I've seen him do.
Yeah. So and he's
Which
great.
Has just been Star Wars.
Well, you should see. He's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Kim's Convenience is the show. It's a Canadian show that he's been on, and it was a lot of seasons. I think 5 or 6 seasons of it. 65 total episodes.
Oh.
It's a fun show. I like it. So definitely check him out on Kim's Convenience as well.
There you go.
But yeah. So I loved. Do I know you? Nope. You don't know me.
No, you don't. You must have been mistaken.
He was in it was the spider episode,
right?
Which was in A Planet Far, Far Away,
right?
So his jurisdiction must be huge.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's the beat for a cop like that.
Yeah,
what is their turf like?
Yeah, because. I mean,
do they just have the outer rim? Is he the head of that's a big turf?
It's a big area. The outer, it's the outer rim.
Right.
That's the outer part of it.
Yeah.
The inner rim is much smaller.
Oh yeah.
When you have the outer rim, that's bigger than the inner rim. That's a lot of space.
That's
that
just
you
racetrack
cover.
Physics.
It is.
You want to stay on the inside.
You want to stay on the
turn.
inside. Yeah. When you're racing, you want to get to the inner rim.
From the outside into the inside.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it exactly. So So he's governing the whole outer rim apparently, which is fine.
Just these two cops.
He's
Turner and Hooch here.
Just Turner and Hooch.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's what I want. The space cop buddy movie.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Well, that's what the new
Rangers of the Republic was
supposed to be. And we didn't get that because they messed it up.
So wouldn't that be rad if they literally did cops? If they did Rangers and it was cops.
It was cops.
In space. Literally, we're you've got a camera crew in the X-Wing with them and they're doing interviews. Oh, we're heading. We got a 305 just now called down to Nar Shaddaa. There's a report of domestic violence. They get there and there's body cam footage and they're following them and it's this Glatunian right here, he was hitting me, and they got to pull him down, and they cuff him, and they interview him. They're shouldn't have done it, man. Shouldn't have run. Shouldn't have run.
Dude, you got a place to sleep tonight? Do you have to?
Is there anywhere nearby you can take? You can go. Anyone you can call?
Anyone
we're
you
gonna
can call?
We're gonna get someone for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They got someone covered in a towel.
In a towel.
This all went way down the rabbit hole. But
somebody running around with no shirt on.
Yes, they've got it's blurred out. There's beeping every other thing.
Yeah.
Almost like a Reno 911.
Almost
for Star Wars.
For Star Wars, the Star Wars Reno 911. That would be fun.
I'm already there.
That would be fun. You got somebody calling in because they're so drunk they think they're calling the liquor store. Hey, can you cops come? I need more alcohol.
I need spotchka.
I need some more spotchka. Can you come? I called the cab, won't do it, but can you get me some more spotchka, please?
That was nice. That
was
a
good.
Nice drunken alien.
Yeah, I try. Yeah. Look, I want to be on the first episode.
That's it.
Get the Reno 911 cops
Right
in Mandalorian helmets and and me. I'll just paint some orange spots on my face and I'll be some orange alien drunk in the corner. Yeah, that's it.
And you'll have your own Wikipedia page.
I will.
You can go to cons.
I go to cons now. I can sign autographs. It'll be amazing.
Maybe we should just go to a con and set up a booth and start signing autographs.
I was thinking about doing that. I was like, I wonder how much a booth is at a con, and we were just
show up with this sign
with
right
that
here.
sign.
And
So-
that's it. Just that sign. It's like in The Office when they just bring the one piece of paper.
I was just gonna say, when I was at Texpo, there's a giant room where all these vendors are. And all the vendors are more geared towards administrators and business people, not teachers like us. So we walk through, we try and steal all the swag that we can get.
Sure, of course. That's
But
why
I
else
said-
go to a convention.
Yeah, I said, look, I want to find out how much it costs. I want to put a sign up behind us that says Dunder Mifflin and just sit there with one piece of paper. That's all I want to do.
Because a blank piece of paper
Here's
is
a
blank slate to write your hopes and dreams or something. And then you said, Pam.
Pam.
And then you sneezed in my coffee and you said, don't worry, it's just allergies. Do you remember that, Michael? I don't.
I don't.
Anyway.
And then I'm going to send somebody all the way back to the office to get one more piece of paper.
That's it.
Yeah.
I guess you could just fax it.
I could. Pam, that won't work. So then at the end he says wizard.
Yeah, well,
he calls her a wizard.
He hits a sublight thrusters, gets back, and then they unironically use the word wizard. And where is that? That's from something. Someone says wizard. Is it in episode 1?
So this says squeaking out one more Phantom Menace Easter egg.
Okay.
In before the final credits, Din Djarin describes his N1 experience as wizard.
And he was just like, wizard.
In the 1999 prequel trilogy trailer opener, Anakin Skywalker's friend dropped the infamous line, "This is so wizard, Annie." And then Robot Chicken had their fun with this scene, with Darth Vader asking why no one says wizard anymore. And Annie needn't feel alone. In Din Djarin, he has a kindred spirit who not only shouts wizard when he's excited, but also enjoys nothing better than spinning in an N1.
Because that's a good trick.
That is a good trick.
Yeah, wizard.
So there we go. So we got a throwback to your
know.
favorite character, young
Little
Anakin Skywalker. Little Annie. Annie's
Little
friend,
Annie.
who was worse of an actor than Annie was.
Yeah, little Greedo.
Saying
We don't
wizard.
know. We have Baby Yoda. We don't know this little guy's name, but we're just gonna call him Baby Greedo.
Baby Greedo.
Anytime we see a little Rhodian.
A little Rhodian. They're
Baby
all
Greedo.
named Baby Greedo.
That's
yes. So that was full rundown on and off tracks of the best episode of the season so far.
This is, and it's again, it's the best episode of the season, but it wasn't. It was an episode of Mandalorian, or it wasn't an episode of Book of Boba, right? It was an episode of Book of Mandalorian.
We forgot about the most crucial part. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about seeing Fennec Shand,
right?
The Book of Fennec. Because she showed
hops
up.
on down.
She hops on down. And Amy Sedaris is funny.
Your friend stopped by. Get the security set up. Go.
Yeah. Your friend stopped by. Friend?
Yep.
Like, he's like, I don't have any friends. What are you talking about? And then she sets up the security, and then she's already in there. I thought you set up the security. And she's yelling at the droids again.
I mean, you can't get good help.
You can't get good help these days.
You can't build good help. And they did have R5. Our boy Skippy the Jedi was in town, and they straight up called him R5.
She called him R5,
right?
so now
that's
we know.
confirmation that is, is that confirmation? Because it's an R5 unit. We don't know if it's R5D4.
Yeah, but true, because R2.
There are
she
other
could have
R2
called
units.
other R2. Yeah, so
right.
That Jon Favreau.
Wow, he's a crafty guy.
He is a crafty.
I mean,
dude.
I don't think it's that. I guess we can say I don't think it's that hard to connect the dots, but what do we know about the production numbers of R5 units? Maybe they were all over the place.
How many R5 units are there?
Maybe they're outdated and they don't use them anymore.
But also in season 1 of The Mandalorian, they did show where the bolts were, the retaining
restraining bolts,
restraining bolts, and the little grease stain from where it had affected him.
Right. So that's
they were leaning very heavily into the fact that it was Skippy
you heard it here,
R5.
folks.
You heard it here.
It is in fact Skippy the Jedi.
Yeah.
Once again, leading our main character towards their destiny.
Yes.
This Jedi droid has been waiting on Tatooine, knowing that his purpose was soon to be fulfilled. That was 0 ABY. Here we are, like 7 ABY. He's been waiting on Tatooine for 7 years because the Force guided him to stay there.
The Force guided him to stay there, to help
Force
Mando.
guided him to blow up
Yep.
so that R2 could help Luke fulfill his
Yes.
destiny because he knows, I need to stay here.
I need
My
to
time
stay
will
here.
come."
I need R2-D2 to do his part and not me. So I'm going to blow myself up.
That way I can help Din later
I can help Din 7 years later
to
after
help
yes.
build his ship.
Mm-hmm. That's how
The Force works in mysterious
that's how
ways.
foreshadowing
That's
R5
not
is.
how the Force works. Maybe it is.
So then he says at the very end, she's like, "We need your help," and he goes, "Okay, I need to go see somebody first." So this is my question: like, is next episode of Book of Boba also going to be Mando
Right.
now seeing Baby Yoda? Because
It does seem like that might be the case because it wouldn't make much. Conceivably, we know that the last episode is going to be like probably a big fight,
yeah,
right? So maybe, I mean, this war has built up quickly.
yes,
Maybe this war doesn't happen in the last episode. Maybe this is a multi-season arc they have that they're planning on.
yeah,
And this isn't, but if they're planning on like episode 6 being like the big end of this sort of conflict,
right,
it would be dumb for them just to say, I have to go get someone. Ooh, here's this present. And then he leaves and he comes back with Grogu
Yeah.
wearing the present.
Yeah.
Right? That would be silly.
that would be silly.
So conceivably, it would make sense that this next episode is maybe a little bit of both. Maybe
And-
it's
yeah.
that and then maybe it ends with whatever that ends. They wind up back with Boba.
Because he doesn't say, like, it would have been perfect for him to set this up that for the Mandalorian, it's going to be him going, meeting or finding Baby Yoda, talking to him, doing whatever he's doing with Baby Yoda, whether he brings him with him or not.
Right.
So he can battle his own battle with what's going on, or even going to the planet of Mandalore to try and find any remnants of water left where he can cleanse his soul since he took his helmet off. Setting up that whole that whole storyline.
Right. Yeah, it seemed to me like it would be a great setup for us season 3.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like we're done.
Yeah, but
setting it up.
then for him to say, I have to go see somebody first.
Right.
We're all assuming that somebody that he has to go see first is Grogu.
Right.
But maybe he's going to see Bo-Katan instead.
Maybe or Ahsoka.
or
Because maybe
Ahsoka.
this is going to set up Ahsoka's. Maybe this is going to be like the thing that, because we know Ahsoka's coming out soon.
Right.
So maybe this is the thing that sets up the Ahsoka storyline.
Yeah.
And maybe we're going to see him go find Grogu, and maybe Ahsoka has found Luke.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to see Ahsoka meet Luke, because if Luke is training Jedi, presumably that's where he's going to go, to where he's training the Jedi, and maybe Ahsoka could help him with that. She's a very powerful Force user.
Yeah.
She's not going to be a Jedi. I don't think we'll ever see her become a Jedi.
No.
But it
Because
would be
she
cool
walked
to see
away
her,
from
right,
the Jedi.
very distinctly.
Yes.
Like that's her whole thing. And
Yeah.
even still today, she's like, I'm no Jedi.
I'm
and
no
stuff like
Jedi.
that.
Yeah.
So man, I really need to rewatch Mando, because like now I'm thinking about that episode.
you have
with
all
Ahsoka.
weekend. Yeah.
right. It's
There's-
gonna snow all day tomorrow.
Yeah, it will. So do it. Just sit on the sofa.
Grab some Bantha Milk, sit on the sofa all day, and watch.
just enjoy.
And you should do the same, especially if you're in the eye of this coming nor'easter.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So I don't know. So it's interesting to see who he's going to go see. All signs point to that he's going to go see Grogu, but it would be great if it was somebody else other than Grogu, and they
Mace
pull the
Windu.
wool out. Yeah, Mace Windu.
Right.
They pull the wool over our eyes. Tricked you.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Great episode.
Great episode.
I wish that they were all like this.
Yes, the downfall for me is the best episode of Book of Boba
Is
didn't
The
have
Mandalorian.
Boba Fett in it. It was a Mandalorian. But the good thing is now it makes me even more excited to watch Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Now, talking about rumors, May 4th is supposed to be a rumored start date of
right?
Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
yes.
I heard that. That's like the big rumor mill. So there's nothing necessarily to confirm that, but usually they use May 4th as like a big day for them, obviously. So
Yeah.
if that is the case, you can imagine we're going to be pretty darn excited over here.
Yeah. So then after Obi-Wan, hopefully, then we'll get season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Right, because so it's end of January, so we got 2 weeks left, right, or 1 week.
1 week. It's the 28th. We have like 3 days left. It's January.
No, I mean until
episodes. We have 2 more episodes left.
Yeah. So that brings us to the middle of February.
Yes.
That'll leave us rest of February and March and April.
Yes.
That's 2 months right there. So that's, I think, a decent amount of time to get advertising going and get hype built for the new thing.
Yes.
Gives Bantha Milk podcast a small hiatus, which is a bummer. We've been liking doing this every week, but no, I think we're going to get at least 2 more series this year.
Yeah.
I heard that the Andor series was canned. I'm kind of bummed out about that.
Yeah, I heard mixed things. I heard that it was canned, and then I heard that it's not canned. So
I hope it isn't.
I'm hoping it isn't.
I know the Trooper one is, and I think that was a Gina Carano thing.
Yeah.
Which is just a bummer.
It is a bummer.
But yeah, we've got lots of Star Wars content coming out pretty soon. Have we heard anything about the Acolyte?
No.
Because that's the other big one that they announced was the Acolyte. It was supposed to be about a dark Jedi or something.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that one, so we'll see what happens. I know there has been lots of talk about Hayden Christensen has been filming a lot for both Ahsoka and for the Obi-Wan series.
Okay.
So we're going to be seeing some Darth Vader in both of those, and it'll be cool to kind of see what Hayden Christensen is going to bring to it.
Yes.
I would assume that if they're going to bring him in, we're going to see flashbacks because obviously, or else we're going to see like we saw in Rogue One, where we kind of see him in the tank.
Okay.
That would be kind of cool if we got to see a little bit of him acting as Darth Vader without the helmet on.
Without the helmet on, yeah, that would be neat.
So who knows? Wasn't there another one we saw?
There was
in the back. Maybe it was just Rogue One. I was thinking. But yeah, that'd be pretty rad.
That would be pretty rad. The one thing that she did not confirm, she said she would love to. Somebody asked Lauren Ash. She was on Superstore. I don't know if you watch Superstore or not, but she was on Superstore. Somebody asked her if she would be awesome to reprise or to replace the role of Gina Carano.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it didn't even cross my mind that Cara Dune, Mandalorian, she should be in. Are they just gonna act like she's gone?
Yeah. Yeah,
that would be silly.
Are they're just gonna write her so if he goes back to the town in the Mandalorian where her and
Navarro, right?
Navarro, yeah.
Right, where her and
Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers are hanging out. And then he's like, so where'd Cara Dune go? And he's like,
eaten by a womp rat. Right? It's they just wrote her off
came in
the
while
most
she was
unfortunate way.
Sleeping in the middle of the night and a womp rat ate her. Yeah, sorry, that's the end of it. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do, if they do anything with the character, if they just act like the character never existed. But then I also heard other, people saying that, she's making amends with Disney, so maybe she'll be back. I don't know. Whatever.
If there's someone who I would ever make amends with, it is the billionaire Disney Foundation.
Disney
if they
Foundation.
want to give me some of that.
Yep.
Yeah, let's make amends, Disney.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, sorry. Disney, right now. Let's iron this out. You and me, Disney.
Yep.
We're good.
We're good. We're
right?
friends. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
We can get back to making that money now.
I didn't mean it at all. Yeah. So yeah. So there we go. So I don't know. The best episode of the season. One of the better episodes of The Mandalorian. Of The Mandalorian, also, yeah.
It's not maybe not the best,
not
because
the best.
It's really hard to top Luke Skywalker.
Yes, but a
contender for top 5 for sure.
Top 5 for sure. Yeah, great episode. So, so it'll be interesting to see where next week rolls. If next week is another Mandalorian episode, or if next week is back to Boba Fett again.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Luckily for us, it's already Friday, so we have less time to wait for it to find out.
We will be coming at you Wednesday evenings like we always do, barring any national weather emergencies this week. But hopefully the snow will be gone by then.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, excuse me. Wednesday evenings, we live stream most of these at... Man, I didn't have any Bantha Milk, and I'm like...
I know, and you're all... Yeah.
We live stream these at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays.
8 p.m. ish.
Right?
It takes us 15 minutes to get everything
we're getting
working.
Better.
Right. We are getting better.
Now that the microphone on my computer is completely messed up,
completely doesn't work anymore.
Unless I plug it into our system, and then it's just plug and play now.
And
so
then
it's
works.
like, do I fix it? Or like, do I might just leave it like
Just
this.
leave it like
honestly,
this.
because it just makes this so much easier. But yes, 8-ish o'clock Eastern time. Tell your friends. Send a link to everyone. You can check us out, obviously, at banthamilkpodcast.com. On Facebook, at our Facebook group, right? Sacred Jedi Texts. Yes, you can chat directly with us.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the episodes. Send us drink recipes, information, money, charity, whatever you want to send us. We're excited for the
Speaking
next
of
one.
Sacred Jedi Text, there was a meme of the 3 different versions of Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, I think go ahead.
It was, and I forget exactly what it said.
It was from X-Men: Days of Future Past, right? It was with it was like I want the real Jabba the Hutt.
Right.
I mean the real Jabba the Hutt, and then it's perfection, right?
Yeah.
And the top one was like the special edition version.
Oh no! I thought the top one was like the real
puppet?
one, the puppet one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was a special edition
special
CGI.
edition CGI
And
one.
then it was whatever weirdo human being.
Yeah, the fat human guy. That was the perfection one. Was just the random guy that was the placeholder for, but he actually
Jabba.
made it into the original episode. So
Yep.
and then Alan commented. He goes, "I want to see a spotlight dance on Jabba the Hutt," and I was like, "Funny thing." I started writing one, but
yeah?
I never. Yeah, I started
There you
writing
go.
one way back about the Hutts, mostly about about all the Hutts and how did Jabba become the most powerful and all this good stuff. And then I was going to go into also like the puppet Hutt and how there were 3 or 4 or 5 people inside of that between all the different things.
Of
that
course,
they had.
Pizza the Hut.
And Pizza the Hut,
and
yes.
the Sunglass Hut.
Yes.
Right. So yeah.
So there's a lot of Hutts.
A lot of Hutts out there.
Yes, there's a lot of Hutts out there. So yeah, so we'll get there. So yep, so that's that. So I don't know.
It's going to be Zoppity, folks. We enjoy it. Zoppity. That's an Office reference right there. If anyone
There you go.
caught that. But yeah, we're coming back at you Wednesday. What date is Wednesday? Wednesday was like February 2nd. Is that February 2nd already?
It could be.
Because the 31st is Monday.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
February 2nd, 8 p.m. Check your local listings. Like, comment, subscribe. Right down here.
Down
that's
below.
a thing right here. Check us out. If
Actually,
you're checking us out on
February-
podcasts,
February 2nd, yes.
check us out on YouTube. If
Yep.
you're checking us out on YouTube, check us out on podcast. Listen to us on your car on your way
Yes.
home, and remember to check out some of our old episodes. Right.
Yes.
If you're doing a healthier rewatch of our show, you can go on back, and it's sometimes really fun to hear the terrible theories we had way back then. We're
Kinda like
totally think that this is going to happen, and not at all.
kind of like Grogu being the leader of the Mandalorian.
We'll see. Maybe in 2 seasons we'll look back fondly and go, "Oh, sweet summer children, we had no idea what was to
What
come."
was I thinking?
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been great. It's been a great episode. Hang 'em a chill. Send us an email, banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time. From all of us here at Bantha Milk headquarters, we have spoken.
We not very well. We have spoken.